Check it out, the Rainbow Family Podcast, coming live, straight to you every Saturday night. 8-bit, electropunk, underground electronica, we've got it all. RFP, it's a way of life.
Now you masters of war, you that build all of the guns, you that build the dead planes, you that build the big bombs, you that hide behind walls, you that hide behind the desk, just want you to know that I see through your masks. You that never done nothing but build to destroy. You play with my world like it's your little toy. Put a gun in my hand and you hide from my eyes and turn and run farther when the fast bullets fly, like the Judas of old. You lie, you deceive. World war can be won. You want me to believe, but I see through your eyes, and I see through your brain, like I see through the waters that run down my drain. You fasten the triggers for the others to fire, and sit back and watch when the death count gets higher. You hide in your mansion as the young people's blood flows out of their bodies and buried in the mud. Well, that's the worst fear that can never be heard. Fear to bring children into the world, threatening my baby, unborn and unnamed. Oh, you ain't worth the blood that runs in your veins. How much do I know to talk out of turn? You might say that I'm young, might say I'm unlearned, but there's one thing I know. Though I'm younger than you, even Jesus would never forgive what you do. Let me ask you one question. Is your money that good? Will it buy you forgiveness? Do you think that it could? I think you will find when your death takes its toll, all the money you made will never buy back your soul. Well, that's the worst fear that can never be heard.
What an amazing song that was. What's up? I am David Mercer. Today's special guest includes Antron 2600, 8-Bit Suicide. That's coming up shortly. But in the meantime, most people don't understand where rap comes from. And nowadays, rap is just one letter away from crap, and it's completely gone in the wrong direction of what it was originally about. See, back in the 50s and 60s, when people had to worry about segregation and other things that were unfair, which is what we're doing today, but in a different stance, they would go, meet up, group of people, hey, let's go rap about this stuff. They'd go acknowledge the problems that they had to go and fix and solve, and they'd go and start talking about it, and they'd be so passionate, it would just be asking for it to rhyme on time about the problems at hand, and how they needed to stand up against the man, and that's how freestyle was born, and now it's in popular demand. And, well, that's kind of where it came from. Political speeches that were so passionate, they created puns and rhymes. So this next song is exactly that, and it is a better example than I am. Still a rookie when it comes to freestyling. But anyways, back to the music.
Back when Eisenhower was the president, golf courses is where most of his time was spent. So I never really listened to what the president said, because in general I believed that the general was politically dead. But he always seemed to know when the muscles were about to be flexed, because I remember him saying something, mumbling something about a military-industrial complex. Americans no longer fight to keep their shores safe, just to keep the jobs going in the arms-making workplace. And then they pretend to be gripped by some sort of political reflex. But all they're doing is paying dues to the military-industrial complex. Military and the monetary. Military and the monetary. Military and the monetary. The military and the monetary get together whenever they think it's necessary. They turn our brothers and sisters into mercenaries. They are turning the planet into a cemetery. The military and the monetary use the media as intermediaries. They are determined to keep the citizen secondary. They make so many decisions that are arbitrary. We're marching behind the commander-in-chief who was standing under a spotlight shaking like a leaf. But the ship of state had landed on an economic reef, so we knew he was going to bring us messages of grief. The military and the monetary were shielded by January and went storming into February. Brought us pot-bellied generals as luminaries. 2 weeks ago I hadn't heard the sumbitch, now all of a sudden he's legendary. They took the honor from the honorary. They took the dignity from the dignitaries. They took the secrets from the secretary, but they left the bitch an obituary. The military and the monetary from thousands of miles away in a Saudi Arabian sanctuary had us all scrambling for our dictionaries because we couldn't understand the fucking vocabulary. Yeah, there was some smart bombs, but there were some dumb ones as well. Scared the hell out of CNN in that Baghdad hotel. The military and the monetary, they get together whenever they think it's necessary. War in the desert sometimes sure is scary, but they beamed out the war to all their subsidiaries, tried to make so damn insane a worthy adversary, keeping the citizens secondary, scaring old folks into coronaries. The military and the monetary from thousands of miles in a Saudi Arabian sanctuary kept us all wondering if all of this was really truly necessary. We've got to work for peace. Peace ain't coming this way. If we only work for peace, if everyone believed in peace the way they say they do, we'd have peace. The only thing wrong with peace is that you can't make no money from it. The military and the monetary, they get together whenever they think it's necessary. They've turned our brothers and sisters into mercenaries. They are turning the planet into a cemetery. We've got to work for peace. Peace ain't coming this way. We should not allow ourselves to be misled by talk of entering a time of peace. Peace is not the absence of war, it is the absence of the rumors of war and the threats of war and the preparation for war. Peace is not the absence of war, it is a time when we will all bring ourselves closer to each other, closer to building a structure that is unique within ourselves because we have finally come to peace within ourselves. Military and the monetary, military and the monetary, military and the monetary. Get together whenever they think it's necessary. They have turned our brothers and sisters into mercenaries. They are turning parts of the planet into a cemetery. What you gonna do? Military and the monetary, military and the monetary. What you gonna do? We hounded the Ayatollah religiously, bombed Libya and killed Gaddafi's son hideously. We turned our back on our allies, the Panamanians, and saw Ali North selling guns to the Iranians. Watched Gorbachev slaughtering Lithuanians. We better warn the Amish, they may bomb the Pennsylvanians. The military and the monetary get together whenever they think it's necessary. They have turned our brothers and sisters into mercenaries. They are turning the planet into a cemetery. They got folks out there working for war. 2, 3, 4. Make a whole lot of money, start a little trouble, it's a war. Turn this planet into north and south, it's a war. Start a few rumors over there, make money with a war. Peace. Say it to yourself. I believe we got to work for peace. Peace ain't gonna be free, you gotta work for peace. You believe in peace, gotta go to work. They got folks out there working for war. Start a little trouble over here, what you got is a war. Turn these folks in the north and south, it's a war. Start a little trouble over here, what you got is a war. Tell everybody you know, we gotta work for peace. Gotta work, gotta work. You believe in peace, time to go to work. I don't want to sound like no late night commercial, but it's a matter of fact that there are thousands of children all over the world in Asia and Africa and in South America who need our help. When they start talking about 55 cents a day and 70 cents a day, I know a lot of folks feel as though that's not really any kind of contribution to make, but we have to give up $1.50 just to get in the subway nowadays. So this is a song about tomorrow and about how tomorrow can be better if we all, each one reach one, each one try to teach one. Nobody can do everything, but everybody can do something. Everyone must play a part. Everyone got to go to work. Work for peace. Spirit say work. Work for peace. You believe in peace, say go to work. You believe in peace, time to go to work. Can't be waving your hand no more, go to work. Everything you ever really wanted, had to go to work.
But I read the final call because within the pages there is something for us all. And I am not professional, but I love basketball. The squeaking of the sneakers, the echo in the hall. But if I don't have enemies, I'm not doing my job. I might throw out a cover, but I never go along. And people criticize me, but I know it's not the end. I try to kick the truth, not just to make friends. But hey, diddle to the people in the middle. We got hot wax and it's cooking on the griddle. Got the guitars to rhyming, the drama to rhyming. The people are rhyming and the Bible's never saying, hey, diddle to the people in the middle. We got hot wax and it's cooking on the griddle. Got the guitars to rhyming, the drama drumming. People are rhyming and the Bible's never saying, on and on and on. You can break it down. Well, I am not a jerk, although sometimes I act like one. And I am deadly serious about us having fun. And I go many places, but I know I'm not with you. And I'm not a sucker, even though I'm stuck on you. But each one should teach one, share with one another. Somebody is out there is living undercover. Your mother, your father, your sister, your brother, your friends and their enemies all have their lovers. Till the break of dawn. But hey, diddle to the people in the middle. We got hot wax and it's cooking on the griddle. Got the guitars to rhyming, a drummer to rhyming. The people are humming and the vibe was never saying, hey, diddle to the people in the middle. We got hot wax and it's cooking on the griddle. Got the guitars to rhyming. The people are humming and the vibe was never saying, of a sellout. Cast your first stone, but then get the hell out. The people say they know me, I can tell you that they don't. The people say they own me, I can tell you that they won't. You see, the left and the right, they all try to use me, but I've been in the places before they can abuse me. So roll down your window and listen what I'm saying. Relax your mind, let the rain. To the people in the middle, got hot and it's cooking on the griddle. Guitars to rhyming, drummer to drumming. People all humming and the vibe was dancing. To the people in the middle, hot wax and it's cooking on the griddle. Guitars to rhyming, drummer drumming. People all humming and the vibe was dancing. We got Suki on the bass. We got everything for your black dreams. We got James playing me, yeah. Love and affection in the right direction. Love and affection in the right direction. Oh, love and affection in the right direction. Come back in, y'all. Say hey, diddle, to the people in the middle. We got high wax and it's cooking on a griddle. That's why the hey, diddle, to the people in the middle. That's why we got high wax and it's cooking on a griddle. The people in the middle. We got high wax and it's cooking on a griddle.
seldom traveled by the multitude. The devil's dabble has a couple food. My culture's screwed cause this word is misconstrued. Small countries exempt from food cause leaders have different views. You choose.
What mean the world to me is being free. Live and let live and just let it be. Let it be. Love, peace, and harmony. One universal family. One God, one aim, and one destiny.
Oh yeah? Imagine life without a choice at all. Giving a vote without a voice at all. These be the problems that we face. I'm talking poverty and race, but no matter what the case, we gotta hold on to this feeling. Freedom. Hold on to this feeling. Freedom.
Yo, I'm the first candidate to hate. Had to beat on the drum to communicate. For what was to come to those who were hung, they would decapitate the tongue if you would mention the word freedom.
Got people screaming free Boomy Jamal, but 2 out of 3 of y'all will probably be at the mall. I'm heated with y'all, the defeated will fall, incomplete and unsolved when the word freedom's involved.
Yo, my forefathers hung in trees to be free.
Rest in peace.
Got rid of slavery, but still kept the penitentiary. And now freedom got a shotgun and shells with your name. Release the hot ones and let freedom reign.
Boat prisoner, Hollywood visitor. Dance for cats segregated on wax. My color got me handy. Cap, Anus, and Andy for the freedom they just won't hand me.
Hold on to this feeling. Freedom. Hold on to this feeling. Freedom. Hold on. Cause there's not a lot of time. Your heart, body, soul, and your mind. It's so true and they've been hurting so long. That's the reason why we named this song. Cause there's not a lot of time. Your heart, body, soul, and your mind. It's so true and they've been hurting so long. That's the reason why we named this song.
Well, why don't we start by you introducing yourself?
Alright. I am Antron 2600, aka Tony Vengus. I've been in the music game, I guess, since I was 15. Started a band in high school called Blood Sun. I played, I guess, bass at first, and then I started playing drums. And then, me and my friend had a falling out, and I just started doing something solo. Because ever since I heard Mindless Self-Indulgence in, I think it was 2001, I finally got around to hearing them. It was too few and far between that they had, the albums came out. But I think the one came out, I think it was 99, and it was 4 years until the next one came out. So I just wanted to start making music that kind of replicated that, and it wasn't necessarily for anybody except for my own personal enjoyment.
Well, that's kind of how the best music's produced, when you're just doing it for fun. It seemed like you were having a good time when you were doing it.
Yeah, I was, and now people are wanting more and stuff, and I'm trying to force shit out, and I'm just making poop.
Well, I will agree that compared to the first songs you had on MySpace, compared to the songs that followed that. Same thing with the CBZL. I noticed you guys and a few other people kind of started out with some really good music, and then as you went to the next stage, it seemed like you weren't having as much fun or something, because the sound of the music changed.
Yeah, I definitely noticed that too, and it kind of became kind of less fun for me, because I was kind of doing it just to get an album out. I didn't even necessarily want people to buy it either. I just wanted to get, X amount of songs onto, an album, just so I can say that I finished something. Because before, in the MySpace days, I kind of made 1 or 2 songs here, 3 or 4 songs here, and then they were kind of demos, and they never really got finished. And that's how I always felt about MSI too. It was every anytime that Jimmy did a bedroom demo, like the crappy demos, they were always better than the polished version. And I guess the same thing happened to, me, CBZO, and probably countless others. I mean, you just start thinking too much about what you're doing and taking it too seriously, and it ends up turning out like shit. I gotta try to get back to those days.
Yeah, I kind of went in a weird direction with my music too. Now it's just, I don't know what happened. I started out like, same thing, just making music just to make it, like, as a hobby. And then I started seeing people like Vincent Flaw, like in person, start doing it. And then like I met Hypercrush, and like I was a drummer in a few metal bands and stuff too when I was a teenager. And then same thing, the people who dropped out, and I went solo and just did the computer thing too. And I don't know why, but like it seems like every time I work with other people, it seems like that's when I'm going to find the most success. But unfortunately, working with other people, there's that chance of them quitting, and that's happened to me so many times. So now that's why I still work with other people, but I still do my own thing. That way, not putting all my eggs in one basket.
Yeah, on the collaboration side, like I had a side project with Uncle Rumbles, who is now by himself because I moved out of state for 4 years, and I'm originally from PA, and I'm now back in PA. I went to Wisconsin for 4 years, and we had this electronic band. It was me and him, called The Unpleasantries, and some guy just brought it up on Facebook probably 2 days ago. He was wondering where like the demos and all the other stuff from The Unpleasantries days were, because I had 8-Bit-Suicide on the side, and The Unpleasantries was kind of like, our main act. And that was my second band, where I did all the programming and a little bit of vocals, and he did all the vocals. But yeah, that was another thing where we worked perfectly together. It was like, because you need someone to feed off of. When you're by yourself, you kind of have this like, you're kind of forced to do everything, and which is good because you have all this free creative reign, but sometimes that's a bad thing, because then you don't know where to go with it. So having someone there to kind of bounce ideas around with is definitely a plus.
Yeah, I'd personally rather be playing drums than, rapping is fun too. I like producing, and I like performing like live and rapping. But drumming, playing an actual instrument, but drumming in particular for me, because I'm a percussionist, it seems to be my favorite thing to do. But I don't have a drum set anymore. The only instrument I have now is my keyboard, which is my actual keyboard for typing. I'm sorry, do you have any live instruments? Like anything?
Oh yeah, I just refurbished a Jackson Dinky guitar, and put like detuned strings on it, and I painted it like the fucking Jurassic Park Explorer in the first movie. Mm-hmm. And then I have a Warlock, and I have countless basses. So that was my first true love. And then I have a Ludwig drum set at my dad's house, which I found out my brother just put back together, so I'm going to have to buy some new heads for that and go over and beat on that thing for a little bit.
Do you have any live performances or anything like that coming up anytime soon?
Live performances? No, not at the moment. I mean, there was a chance for me to play at this shitty little, amphitheater. It's not shitty. I mean, they just, in my town, they just put this brand new amphitheater in the city park, and I had a couple chances to go play it, but I don't think anyone wants to hear, our type of music anymore. Or, because everyone's into the whole rap game.
Oh, the scene? Rap. The scene was never really popular outside of mindless self-indulgence, really. I mean...
Yeah, it captured a few people, and those people were really rabid about it. But other than that, it's kind of just like, what the hell are you doing? They don't get it.
Yeah, they don't. I don't think... It's because they choose not to. I mean, you can get anything in this world.
When you're brainwashed, when the same 5 songs are on the radio every day, every hour, most weak-minded people kind of just go toward that and think that they like that and continue to listen to it.
Because it's easy. They don't have to put any energy or thought into it. It's just there.
There's no thought involved.
That's so, yeah, unfortunate. I was actually watching a bunch of those, like, a bunch of exposed videos today about all kinds of stuff, and those are always fun to watch, because it's always good to learn, no matter what it's about, but big issues like that are, I don't know, like the creme de la creme.
Yeah. It's, yeah, I think that there was a quote, I think you just said, it's always good to learn. There's this quote from Albert Einstein that I always kind of stick to. Like, the minute you stop learning, you start dying, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like if you think you know everything, then you're a fucking idiot. And you know nothing about the world. Let's say most people nowadays are in their mid-20s because all the old people are dying out. I mean, and these people think they have the fucking world by the balls and they know everything. They know nothing. They only know the 5 songs that they know on the radio, and that God is good, and all this other shit. And they really know dick.
Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate. That was one of the things, like, okay, I'm kind of an outward looking at I was watching something today, and it was talking about how, okay, you know, I always wondered why people believe in these Bibles, all of them, you know, where do they come from? Nobody ever tells me, so I did my own research, and there's documentaries about it, and there's the King James, which was written in 1611, and, like, about 50 or so of the leading, like, minds at that time got together and spent 7 years translating these tablets into that translation. And they were comparing it to all the new versions of it. And they're saying, look, this is their key strategies to take away religion and stuff like that. Because they gave, like, lists and lists of examples about, like, this new version is missing, like, they're missing full, like, sentences and full paragraphs, you know, that were in the original. And all kinds of key words are being changed or replaced. And, like, man, these guys had done their homework. They had so much research on this. Like, they were just going over, like, lists and lists of examples. And so I have an King James authorized, and not the new version, but the original 1611 version. And that one seems to be, like, the actual perfect one. All these other ones are just, they're all tricks, I guess, which is so mind-boggling. But that's what it is.
It's like they make up what they want people to hear for the time, and whatever fits the time.
Yeah. I mean, all this whole New World Order stuff, you know. Whew. But anyways, let's go back to music and all that. So, do you have any you don't have any plans?
Really to trail off from there.
Yeah, if we trail on too long, we'll forget about the whole thing. Well, but yeah, do you have any goals on, like, performing live eventually?
I would like to. Like I said, I had that chance before, and I just recently shot a music video for a local artist, and a little bit of the B-roll was at a show in Pittsburgh. And I got the chance to go there and, you know, go for free and just shoot and drink, and it was pretty fun. It was rap, but, you know, what do? You gotta make money.
Yeah.
So it just got me thinking, like, I really want to have at least 20, 30 people in a crowd and just play a show again. It's like the funnest thing in the world to me.
Yeah.
To get up there and then, like, scream into a mic with beats behind me.
Yeah, I've been thinking, one of the things I've been having a difficult time with is, like, I have these opportunities to open up for these people from, like, the Bay Area. Like, I signed a contract and everything to open up for this guy named Filthy Rich, who I don't really know who he is, but I guess he's, like, really popular. I remember when I was living outside in Berkeley, I saw his thing up on the Rasputins and stuff on Telegraph, but other than that, I didn't know who he was. And, like, I have opportunities to open up for these kind of people, these, like, mainstream rap artists, and even though that I could make money doing it, I don't want to, because I just would feel it's not my scene. It's a similar genre, but it's like they're all going over there to, like, you know, shots, you know, or whatever they're rapping about, and I'm over there. I don't know. My stuff that I talk about is completely different than what they're talking about. So I'm just like, I want to see some. Okay, like, have you heard of Nerdapalooza?
I have, yeah.
I want to see more stuff like that. Like, I'm really happy. Last week I was able to go to Stockton Con. Stockton Con is like Comic-Con, but in Stockton. And man, it's getting bigger and bigger each year. And I'm looking for, like, more of that kind of stuff to be here. Well, you're not here in California, but, like, if I had it my way, I'd have, like, a gig, me, you, like, Electric Dragon, Well, see, that's the thing.
Another huge influence for me when I was on MySpace early in the game, Electric Dragon. It was like the whole SSS thing kind of started blowing up right there, and Electric Dragon was a huge influence to me at that time. It still is today.
It's been almost, like, what, 10 years now, huh?
Oh, God, yeah. 2005, yeah.
Just about. Oh, man, 10th anniversary of the Triple S, and now it's going to be back and stronger than ever. Like, now, like, Sparks is over back in Bulgaria. He has that music video. He's working on the new album. We got the podcast going. I got, like, a lot of the older people from the Triple S. Like, I've been trying to contact them. The dude from Uncle Outrage is scheduled. He's going to be on here. We talked about it. He's supposed to be on next. And I'm going to try to get hold of Eat Babies and Sex Copter Roll. Like, I'm pretty sure I can get a hold of them. And Mr. Grape as well. I don't know what they're doing, but...
Yeah. How about John Bev from the Various Endeavors?
Oh, yeah, huh?
I kind of still keep in touch with that cat every once in a while. I think he's still doing, like, the Grimulus thing with his buddy, can't remember, I think.
Mike Diva is, like, the only other person from, like, back then that I've still kept in contact with, because he's over there in Hollywood now with the Scientologists and stuff. And, like, oh, man.
Is he still doing video out there? And
yeah,
on the red carpet? I think the last I saw of him, he was, like, at some video premiere interviewing someone.
I think that was a while ago, but yeah, he just makes movies for his YouTube channel, and you should watch the Furby movie he made. That was the thing he was telling me, and he sent me a link to it. He was telling me about all this sacrifices and shape-shifting things he'd seen, and yeah, that. Oh man, he told me about the Voynich manuscript and how Alex Jones, like, works for the 1% that he's fighting, and same with, like, a lot of those people. And I don't know, after him telling me, like, paragraphs and paragraphs about this stuff, he told me they knew who I was and stuff, and that I'd thank him one day, and that he blocked me, and I haven't talked to him since. But
wow.
Yeah, he's still in Hollywood though, still making those movies. I mean, they're really good. I really like his stuff, and it blows my mind because, like, I remember when I first met him back in like the mid 2000s, you know, when VFlaw was, like, had a website, and that was like there was the Triple S, and then there was, like, VFlaw.net. Those were, like, the only two real forums. And then, like, Nerdcore Now, which they're the ones who do Nerdapalooza, they came out a little bit afterwards, more towards the end of 2000. Like, around 2011 was their, like, heyday. And they kind of died off, too.
Yeah, that's the whole, so Mike blocked you then?
Yeah.
Jesus. Yeah, I kind of, from the gate, from back in the day, I kind of had this thing about him. I don't know. I didn't like him too much. And then I finally, I guess him and Max Jenga or whatever commented on my RoboCop video and actually gave me some, like, props after years of talking shit on my music. And, you know, I finally thought they were alright guys. I never had anything against Max, but Mike, I was kind of doing the same thing he was. I went to film school, he went to film school. And, you know, he was doing all the campy After Effects shit.
You guys are like...
I'm a visual effects artist too. But, I don't know, I guess there was like an unspoken rivalry. Maybe I was just jealous. I don't know.
It was probably on both ends. I don't know. Max has always been a really cool dude. Like, I booked them a show in Stockton, and they came and performed, and then next thing I know, they left. Well, I don't know if they both left at the same time. I don't know how that happened, but, like, they were in Sacramento. That's where I met them, at the Crest Theater, yeah, I think that, yeah. And then, I don't know, they had a big show at the Boardwalk with, like, Breathe Carolina, Hypercrush, and, like, a few other people like that. And then they went to Hollywood. And I didn't talk to him for, like, 2 years. Like, I sent him messages and stuff, but he never responded, really, until one day I told him that he had became a Jimmy Urine. That, you know, you're just another Jimmy Urine where, like, you know, you don't give a shit about any of your fans and you're just, you know, you suck. And then he told me, he kind of, like, was like, you know, like, it's, dude, chill. If you come to LA, we'll totally hang out. Like, I'm not that way. And I'm like, okay, good. Because he wasn't responding for a while, so I had to tell him that. But, I don't know, like, years went by, and then he didn't really talk too much until one day he just sent me paragraphs and paragraphs about that stuff. And then he blocked me, and I never talked to him again, and I don't know what to do about that. Except for, I guess, if I go to Hollywood, I could find him. I'm not too far away.
Yeah. I would kind of probably just let that go, though. I don't know, that's me. He's probably off doing more important shit and selling out and whatever.
Well, if everyone sells out. A lot of people sell out and they don't even realize they sell out. I think I sold out. I don't know. It's weird. Like, I met them and I saw them perform at the Boardwalk at that big electro show. And Hypercrush did a song with LMFAO, and they wound up playing at the Super Bowl. So, I mean, like, I'm not too far away from that, because I know Hypercrush, who knows LMFAO, who played at the Super Bowl. So I'm like, oh, I could do that, you know? But at the same time, I'm realistic, and I'm like, oh, but I'm not really them, and I have to you know, maybe being at the Super Bowl isn't really the best thing to do in the world. It just looks cool. And I have, like, more important things to think about other than, you know, those kind of things. Like, taking care of people and stuff. Well, do you have any kind of new, like, album releases scheduled or anything like that? Anything in the works?
I mean, I do have this Halloween-type EP planned for Halloween. I think it's the 30th or 31st or something. So I'm going to be working on that for the rest of August, all of September, and most of October. Hopefully by October I'll be in the mixing stage of it. But that'll probably only be 5 or 6 songs. It's really hard to come up with music nowadays because, like I said before, I think too much about it. I enjoy making music, and I would like to think that there are some people out there that would like to hear more of the 5 or 6 fans that I have left on Facebook that keep coming back to see if there is anything.
Well, what was the name of the first album you released?
Finally.
I remember what it looks like. The album cover. Who designed it? Did you draw it?
That was actually a film school buddy of mine, Franz Vornkamp, who from Detroit. I met him in film school in Menneson, and we didn't really see eye to eye because I guess we were too much alike. And then once we graduated, we kind of kept in touch, and he was like, dude, you got to come up with your album. And like we became friends, and he decided just to draw it for free.
Do you think after you do the EP, you'd come out with like another full-length album?
I really want to. I mean, there's a lot of songs that I've totally forgotten about. Because I'm looking through old hard drives, and I've switched computers like so many times since the MySpace days, or like the early SSS days. And I found so many demos that I could rework into new songs. I was thinking about coming up with a totally brand new song using like the Pretzel Dog music, as ridiculous as that is.
One thing that just came to my mind when you were saying that is there was 2 Triple S compilation discs, right? Or it was just one with a B-side?
I think there were 2 compilations. I was asked to be on think it was, I can't remember who I was supposed to pair up with.
We need to have a third one and have it like, just like, because it's been, what, 4 years since the second one? Or longer, huh?
I think, it may have been longer than that, because the first one came out in like 2006 or 7.
Yeah.
And the second one was like 2 years after that, so.
I think right before 2010, huh?
About 5-6 years, it's definitely time for a new one.
What do I want to write about? What do I want to tell people? You know, I'm going to be up there and I'm going to be, in a sense, a leader. What am I going to be leading? You know, I'm an influence. What am I influencing? What am I doing? And I'm taking a lot of time I don't want to write right now because I want to make sure what I'm going to write is the best thing that I can write. I don't care how long it takes for me to be able to, do that. But that's like one of my big things.
I'm in the same boat, man. It's like exactly what you said. You know you're going to be influencing somebody because even if it's only 10 or 100 or 100,000 people, it's somebody that is going to listen to your stuff and try to make sense of it. And before, I was basically parodying rap and talking about just dumb shit. And now I've tried to, there was a couple songs where it was just about murder and just dumb shit. Again, I can't really write lyrics because even if I do come up with a full beat, I still can't put lyrics to it. Because I don't know if I want to go with like a rap style and just talk about something goofy or actually make sense of something in the world, like in society. Because, people like us, they have a lot of views on the world and how, the whole conspiracy thing too. I mean, I'm totally into that stuff.
Well, that's good to know.
And it's like, you're trying to figure out what you... And I'm also afraid that, it could be political or anything like that because I feel like I'd sound stupid or something.
Well, there's people who do it, but it's kind of...
They're going to actually sound stupid or try to sound smart and stupid. So I'll like get turned off because I don't know. This interview's kind of opening my eyes to my whole process here, and because I never really talked about it openly with anybody.
Well, that is a thing. If everyone's following the mass media and it's an agenda to lead us to hell, I could see why a lot of people would follow it, because it says like the gateway to hell is like wide and the entrance to heaven is narrow. And I think about it, I'm like, well, man, look at like back in the day, they said the world was flat. The majority believed in something that was a lie, which means they were following Satan because he's the father of lies. And so then that one guy came up and told them, no, it's not flat, it's a circle. And they killed that guy. And I see this architect character, I guess they're called mortars, all throughout history. There's always been somebody throughout history that'll be out there and tell the world like some very important truth that everyone should know. And then everyone who doesn't know it, for some reason the devil gets them to kill that person. It happens a lot, Even recent times, like with Dr. Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. Those were people who were doing things for good, which is 1 O extra from God, and they got killed. That's the exact same story that happened to Jesus. Jesus came here to love everyone and tell them the truth, and just like they killed the guy who said the world was circle, same thing. And it's just so weird that that's like the situation that keeps happening here. Like, I don't understand what's up with the majority of humans. Why do we keep I don't know what you would call that. Why did they kill that guy? Why didn't they just listen and believe him?
Well, it's hate, and it's people that don't believe because of their own closed-mindedness and bigotry. Most of these people just, That's why they killed the witches in Salem. They did something that other people couldn't do, or that other people didn't believe in, and they were cast off as witches and then burned at the stake, when they were really just a woman in that time trying to do something good. I mean, a lot of it's fueled by people believing too heavily in something that they really shouldn't believe in.
Well, okay, like, for example, hey, you guys, I know the answers to everything. Drink this Kool-Aid. You're going to die and everything's going to be okay. You mean like that?
Well, basically, yeah. I mean, that's exactly what's going on right now. I mean, that's the Kool-Aid metaphor. Everything's going on in media. I don't know who's controlling it. I mean, you may have a better grasp on that. The Illuminati, the Freemasons, and everything. People are told to do something that they just choose to believe it blindly. And I feel like that's where religion, specifically Christianity and Catholicism, come very much into play. It's the old Kool-Aid. Drink this Kool-Aid and then believe this book word for word. I mean, some people take it a little too literally.
Well, no, that's actually not supposed to be it that way. All the people who hate people, that's not what they're supposed to be doing at all. God is love, so if you're not loving people, then you can't say you know God, because God is love. Think about where we're at. We're here in America. What did it take to make the land of the free and the home of the brave? Oh, I know, a bunch of people who invaded this continent and genocided 7 billion Native Americans. Or 7 million, or a big number of people they killed to make this land of God. I'm pretty sure if this land was really based off of the real God, Jehovah, that nobody would have been killed, because that's very contradictory to what he taught. And plus, the Vikings were here before them too, so that was a whole big lie with Christopher Columbus. They came here, took over and killed every Native American and put the survivors into little camps, and then they built this country, and the number one goal about America is turning people away from God. That is the overall goal of this country, is to go and create a one world order and a one world religion. And I mean, I don't know how many people know this kind of stuff, but I spent 4 years doing research into this to figure out what I know. I've never seen a reptilian shapeshifter, but Mike Diva has, and he told me so. And he says he's their pet.
That's wild, though.
Yeah, I know, right? But hey, he wanted to make it, and he sold out to the Scientologists. What would be like the last thing you'd like to say to for the listeners?
If you guys can go and check out my cartoon at dead-chubbins.tumblr.com. I want to be starting a Kickstarter up again real soon, because we didn't reach our goal last time. So I want to start it up this time, and want to make a 7-minute short cartoon about a physicist and his cat that caused the apocalypse and try to survive through it. A little dark humor here and there. So hopefully you guys will come out, donate, or pledge for that.
All right. Well, that concludes the interview with Antron2600. Tony Vinguez. Make sure to check him out on SoundCloud. He's a really cool guy. Anyways, here's a quick sample of a remix he did of MC Chris. And, well, I really like it. And I hope you guys do too.
Toys I can't play with, you can't tell me not to grow my crops, you can't tell me when sex I can bury, it's so scary the weird way that you watch. Straight out of Ponyville, motherfucking ain't Twilight. Don't call a bell, sweet a bell, raise hell, beat you in a bar fight. She's unicorn, horn, got the force, who shit around teleport, but she's a pony, that's a horse that will, but of course the horse sport. Like Spike on rarity, Clyde's up page to the horse that I hunger for. Could've shy with butterflies, bumblesweet, but a little bit of mumblecore. Pickaninny is a mean motherfucker pulling pranks with Rainbow Dash. They don't give a fuck if a shit's fucked up, they gonna fall back and laugh. You can't tell me what toys I can't play with, you can't tell me not to grow my crops, you can't freakified. Whatever sweet side won't suffice. Dash the last of the rainbow lane, pass the fast, make it lose your cool. She's a mind detector, a call collector. When's the last time you heard a rainbow? Boom! I'm somebody rock a rainbow like R to a lucky charm. You gotta get all aggro back in the back room. Make sure nobody is doing anybody any harm. Bunch of baloney, just a bunch of ponies. Save that horse shit for your barn. The only danger in this manger is finding friendship on the farm. What? You can't tell me what toys I can play with. You can't tell me not to grow my crops. You can't tell me which sex I can marry. It's so scary the weird way that you watch. Don't talk smack unless they force you. If it's double jack, you might taste a horseshoe. How about with the harvest? If she requested, hard as a part that's heavily invested. Her not a pack with some sandbag dramatics. Don't panic with the stampede to the static. You heard that it's whack, heard friendship is magic, better than back in the paddock. Some ponies know their cutie marks, and some must crusade. Some people know their role in life, and some others must wait. I love